which issues felt most dangerous to ignore, like pricing, inventory, or production?
Pricing. Pricing to me, I feel like pricing is still the thing that I'm not really sure if we're where we should be.
If you're selling 3 to 4 out of 10 deals, you're priced properly. If you're selling 8 out of 10 deals, you're underpriced. If you're selling 1 out of 10 deals, you stink at selling, and maybe you're too expensive. My name's Dominic Rubino. Welcome to the Cabinet Maker Profit System podcast. Today, we've got a fantastic couple as a guest, really nice people. They are here to change the world, I'll tell you that. But they are a client of ours. And as part of being a client, one of the very first things that we do is a financial report. And today we're going to be talking about this very specific financial report. We call it Checkpoint 90. You might even hear us call it the CP90 because I like shortening everything into an acronym. But we're going to talk about what they learned just starting up with us and how the CP90 has affected their business, the way they think about their business, and the actions they're taking day to day. I know you're going to love it. I also want you to stay tuned to the very, very end because I'm going to give you an update on the Christmas water project with a massive thank you. You would not believe how much just liking and commenting on videos or podcast episodes has impacted this community that lives next to the dump in Nicaragua. So I'll fill you in on that at the end of the show as well. In the meantime, let's get to it. We'll see you on the other side. James and Sally, how are you?
Good.
Good to see you guys.
You too.
Yeah. Oh, you suddenly got quiet. Are you not doing a podcast a day? Is that the thing?
Nope, not quite yet.
We're not professional celebrities, so
You're
it's
not
really
professional. Well, you are now.
I know, right?
Yeah. How old are your kids, by the way?
We have an 11-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 5-month-old.
5 months. That's right. Brand new baby.
Yeah. We didn't bring them this meeting, so.
Yeah. Although the baby has been in other meetings of ours.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. But you now get to tell the kids, hey, look how cool mom and dad are. We're on a YouTube video.
Oh, yeah. Our oldest might think it's cool.
No.
Our middle won't care.
I think it'll
No?
be
Oh, you think it'll
Yeah. And then we've got your coach here as well. Pete, how are you, Pete?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. We've got a star-studded cast here today, folks. So we're doing a very special interview. James and Sally run a cabinet shop, and we did a financial overview for them. We call it Checkpoint 90, CP90. Actually, Pete led that report. And I thought I'd come on today and do an interview with James and Sally and find out all about their lives after the report. How's that sound?
I'm excited.
Yeah. Hey, let me start with a question I always start with. James and Sally, who the heck are you guys? And how is it you come to be speaking to all these forward-facing cabinet makers, mill workers, and closet industry folks all over the world?
I mean, where do we start?
We're James and Sally Edrington. We are from Kentucky. We actually bought a Amish cabinet shop from a previous Amish guy that I actually worked for about 5 years before getting the opportunity to buy the shop. And so we own the cabinet shop and we own an Amish furniture store in the same location as our shop. So
Yeah.
we kind of have a bit of the Amish still here, and then of course we're still in the community that's here, in the area. So they actually buy more furniture from us probably than anyone.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
actually, yeah.
Yeah. And Sally, you're up front in the furniture store a lot, aren't you?
Yes. So I mainly tackle everything that is furniture. We are a wholesaler. We source it through Amish companies that are in Ohio mainly, but we're branching out into northern Indiana and Tennessee.
Yeah. Nice. Tell us a little bit about your shop. How many employees do you have? Square footage? What you specialize in?
So we are what we consider ourselves, I guess, to be high-end cabinetry. Now, high-end Amish cabinetry, I guess. So, for the cabinet guys out there, 3/4 sides, bottoms, 1/2-inch backs that are screwed on. I know last time Pete was like, wait, you use 1/2 inch? So, bloom everything. And basically, we have a network of Amish guys that still all have individual shops. I have a face frame guy that's Amish. I have a drawer box guy that's Amish, and I have a door and drawer front guy that's Amish. And then, those things come into our shop, we assemble them, we have a finish finish room on site and have a really good finisher.
We have three
employees
counting James in the shop, and then
Nice.
we have install crews that we contract.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, and you guys having this Amish shop in a very unique situation, you might have wondered, why are you introducing me, Dom, to Coach Pete Ficco? And Pete, why don't you give us 2 minutes on your connection with the Amish community and cabinetry? Can you do that too?
Yeah, I actually was part of a Amish cabinet shop. I lived in the Amish community for about 23 years now. So they're all around me. I mean, I look outside and I'm looking at an Amish farm, which is a beautiful view, and I don't have to maintain it. So,
but it's impeccably maintained.
It is, absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And so, folks, for those of you that don't know, Pete, as a coach on the team, Pete was a client first. And if you don't mind, Pete, I'll give away the numbers. When I started with your company, you guys were doing about $3.5 million. And then by the time we all, resorted ourselves and parted ways, you were doing 10 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't seem as excited as that number would sound.
Oh, no, we owe a lot of it to you. I won't say all of it, but a lot of it to you. It was a good 4.5 years, and I believed in it so much, I joined your team.
Joined the team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we did Pete led a special report with James and Sallie, as I said, called Checkpoint 90. Pete, why don't you kick us off on asking the first question of James and Sallie? We've now done the report, we've done the assessment, looked at their financials, peeled it apart. Wow, did we find a lot of stuff. Pete, what's your first question for them?
Yeah, absolutely. We found a lot. James and Sallie, my question to you is, before we ran this report, how confident were you in your numbers?
Well, I thought we were, pretty close to being good, but then you guys started pulling out phrases and words that I was like, wait, this is math stuff that I don't know. Like, it was shocking how much we didn't know, how much we weren't tracking in the shop, in our finances, in our supplies and everything. So it was
things we didn't know to track.
Yeah.
Things we didn't know to pay attention to.
It was a real eye-opener to how much we weren't seeing.
Honestly, for me, it was just, and I think a lot of guys probably can relate to this, I just focused on grinding away. I didn't, the numbers would balance out in the end, I guess, if I just keep going, and I did that for about 2 years or a year and a half. And I realized, like, man, this is not getting any better. It's not getting any easier. Something must be wrong, something just must be wrong. And so I guess if you want me to continue on, like, I found your podcast and I started listening to that. And then, I reached out through, it was actually Facebook, and, got in touch with Joshua. And then just the conversations that I had with him in the beginning, like, really started getting us to think the way we needed to think. And then it was like, honestly, it's kind of been like a snowball the whole time. We've sort of gained momentum the whole time. And honestly, where we were very close to being beaten down from it, now I'm honestly, I'm re-energized. Like, I feel like I have something to work towards now.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's great. When you guys looked at these numbers suddenly, what was the one that jumped out to you as your next biggest, like, oh my gosh, we've been overlooking this?
Cost.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You and I were talking about that just as we were opening the.
It terrified me.
Why?
Because I realized that's what I realized is that cannot be materials alone. That's mistakes. Those are errors. Those are not having processes in place.
Rework.
Yeah, rework.
Yes.
Isn't it really nice to build a whole kitchen twice? I mean, we love it. We love building kitchens. Why not build them twice?
Practice, sure.
And the second time is one piece at a time. Like,
yeah, right. And you're licking on the edge banding to do it right. You're like, this has got to be perfect.
Yeah. The other day we had a situation where we had to fix something, and man, we had, like, literally to the drop just enough paint to not have to order another gallon of paint. Oh, even more money, so My Finnish guy said, I've never prayed over paint, but I prayed twice over this one. So,
And hopefully they don't come back with a change or hey, can you just do these kicks for us? You're like, no, we cannot. Yeah, that's good. So, I mean, the very first thing is you found actions. Like, not only did it show you the numbers, but it gave you a path. And you're like, okay,
I think with the numbers, it sort of shows you the levers, which levers are actually levers and which ones are just, they don't do anything,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you think you're saving a buck or two here or there, but then when you realize that you're not, like for instance, I save money on paint cups, but then I'm not quoting jobs high enough or where they should be. And so it's like, it doesn't matter how much I saved on paint cups. If I keep doing the other thing wrong, then it's never gonna work out. So,
and we didn't know we were doing
Yeah.
anything
And you
wrong.
didn't-
We weren't tracking it well.
yeah,
We didn't know.
you didn't know.
Yeah.
So,
It's funny. I think one of the questions Pete had was about gross profit margin. Didn't Pete, what was the notes you shared with me there? That question.
I'm sorry, I don't remember that.
Oh, I've got it here. When you guys saw your gross margin compared to the industry, what went through your mind? If you don't mind me sharing, your gross was like 12%, but the industry says you should be 45.
yeah.
And a lot of people argue. They're like, I could never charge 45 or 50% gross margin, but that's just the industry benchmark, right? This whole report is what's everybody else in the industry doing and what's your shop doing? So what went through your mind when you saw that?
To start with, I guess I would say we thought we were shooting for 25. So, we didn't even hit where we thought we were going to be, where we were shooting for. So I don't know. There's so many things that looking back on it now, I realize we probably should have paid more attention to that, which are even profitable for our shop, which jobs just take too long and drag out too long to make money, which jobs are too small to make money. Pete and I had that conversation. Even he said at 10 million, they don't turn down a vanity, and we don't. It's just where we are. I guess we can't do that yet.
That makes me itchy.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't turn down a vanity because it comes from a builder that you've got to keep.
Sure.
Good.
Which, that's keeping momentum.
Yeah, and if you read a fancy textbook, business case always prevails. Like there's a reason why you would say no to somebody or yes. So you have to look at the whole relationship. If a very busy builder sends you a small project, sometimes you just do the project. But push comes to shove, you want to get the perfect job that's lined up for how you guys, produce profitable work.
Sure. Sometimes you just have to win their heart, by doing them a favor and getting that done. So,
yeah. Hey, are you running a custom cabinet or high-end millwork shop? You're doing at least over $2, maybe $4 million, and you realize you're chasing too many of the wrong deals. Have you ever been in that situation where you win a deal and think, uh-oh, what did we miss? Or you think to yourself, am I going to hate my life for the next 6 months? Well, we have a system for that. It's called the Estimator SOP. And the reason we built it is so that you don't have to be involved in every decision, but you still have a hand in what deals are getting looked at and what deals are getting ignored. Super easy to get that from us. Just text me the word Estimator SOP and I'll send it off. My cell phone number. It's 315-903-7853. Pete, when you guys had gross profit margin problems, like you weren't getting enough gross, was there any things that you automatically went to increase?
That's when the deep dive happened on the EOJ. And we started figuring out what the perfect project was and where, even more important than the project, was the location and if we were charging enough per location. And we found that we didn't know as much as we thought we knew.
Yeah.
So
I think the report's humbling, isn't it, guys?
Absolutely.
Very much so.
But like you guys have already done, you've taken action. We'll come to the actions in a minute.
Sure.
I had another question for you about inventory, because that's how exciting we talk here about inventory. But when I look at the inventory number was big. What did you think when you saw 117 days for you guys versus 29 days? Look at you shifting in your shirt. For those of you who can't see this on YouTube, James is like crawling in his skin. But industry's 29 days holding inventory. You guys were 117. What? Yell, scream, tell me what you did.
Well, I think a lot of it was taking what we bought an already established shop. So one of the things that's kind of unique for us, I guess, is we had no previous cabinet shop owner experience before we bought this shop. And when we bought this shop, it was like we were buying into year 20 of this shop.
Right.
We had no, I mean, so I have this amazing shop, all these amazing tools, and I know how to personally run them, you know.
Yeah, because you worked in the shop. You were,
But we had no experience managing a shop that had been around for this long, that was getting that kind of consistency in work. And, you know, the last year has been like a crash course in how to run a shop, you know. And to be truthful, like we didn't really find our direction until we started listening to this, because it just gave us so many good ideas. You know, in the very beginning, I got started with the lean stuff.
Right.
And just doing that, like thinking about constant improvement every day, that led to, man, I want to check this coaching out, because that is the kind of constant improvement that I really want, you know. And so, you know, I told you I've listened to essentially every. I mean, I even listened to the one about epoxy tables. We don't do epoxy,
We don't
but
do epoxy.
you know,
Some people do, and
yeah.
some people have problems in finishing with that epoxy stuff. That was
So yeah, but I've learned something from every episode that I've listened to. So
yeah, good. And you take action.
Yeah, anything that we can figure out how to take action on, we definitely jumped on it from the moment we started, you know, being introduced to your company. But it was an eye opener about how much we didn't know what to take action on until you guys started showing us numbers and showing us, hey, this is what the industry standard is. And I'm like, oh,
just knowing that, like,
yeah,
I mean, for us, we didn't really know how to even find that information out. You know, I mean, I guess there's the old, you know, legwork, you know, send a decoy to a shop and have them quote all these jobs, you know, and compare them. But, you know, there had to be an easier way. And I know the reports that you guys were able to generate for us to see, even just for our specific location, where we should be. That I thought was, honestly, I didn't even know that was possible. So the CFO-level reports that you're able to generate.
Yeah. CFO is, for people that aren't familiar, Chief Financial Officer. It's looking at the numbers and then interpreting them, you know. And the challenge that we all have is we think, okay, I'm going to look at the numbers when I get them back from the accountant after taxes. And then your accountant, because you're small, no offense to all of us, you're last on the accountant's list.
Sure.
And you get your numbers back in October. Well, that's way too late. Not only has the horse left the barn, the horse has now had a foal. Like the problem is like so old. So we have to interpret the numbers that we can control internally right away, which, you know, Pete, you talked about in your company, the end of job report, end of job summary. What were the other ones you relied on for financial controls?
Dashboard. I mean, dashboard was key, because of course I took what you had presented to us and I kept expanding on them and expanding. And I tend to do that when I get a spreadsheet. So yeah.
One of the big things that Pete talked about in our onboarding meeting was lead tracking and your conversion rate. And that being sort of an indicator of whether or not, you know, what was it, 4 out of 10? If you're getting more than 4 out of every 10, then you're probably too cheap. You know, it's just an easy barometer.
Just crazy. You don't sound like a cabinet shop owner at all when you're talking about conversion rates and lead. I just want to build square, plumb, and level cabinets. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, that's all due to the podcasts and stuff.
Yeah.
We never even.
Yeah, I mean, I'd heard of those things before. Obviously, I've worked in sales before, but you know, to have that, and then obviously it's like you said it, and then it's like, duh, that's a really good, you know, like I know how to do that. So, you know, some of it's just, I feel like sometimes we just get so locked into, we got to get this job done by this deadline that we don't. And I'm still that guy that, you know, you talk about all the time. You got to get off the tools, and you got to, you know, I'm still on the tools. I'm going to be on the tools for a bit, but you know, my goal is to not be there forever, obviously, and to be able to work on the business instead of in the business.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, It's a big difference being in the office versus on the floor, on the shop floor,
Well, sure. I've
Um,
had a couple of days this week where it was sort of intentional, but I tried to take some time to really just do that,
mm,
like be in my office and like, okay, I'm in here. I got to do something, let's, and then my mind just starts, I don't know. It's pretty cool to actually get the chance to sit down and think about, okay, if I can improve something, what would I do?
yeah,
How can I make a small improvement, like, a small improvement every day that adds up to equal a really big,
right.
end result.
Yeah. And sometimes it's just those little things you have to adjust, and
Sure.
in the end, they become much bigger. So what decisions became easier after the reports?
I don't know. I don't know that any decisions became easier. No, I think obviously learning a few things. My inventory. I was doing a lot of that stuff based on the way the previous owner had done things. I realize now that I had already made some of those changes without realizing that I was making those changes. But um, you know, now I know, okay, these are things that I should purchase and have on hand. And then these are things that I can get within a week. So I don't need to tie up that cash with something that's just sitting there, not earning me any money at all. So that was probably the first most, I guess, readily available adjustment to be
Mhm.
made. But yeah,
Did Sally, yeah, did anything change at the front in the furniture store?
So at the furniture store, I that was easier for me to tackle than the kitchen side of the business
right.
because we don't have a lot of stuff tied up. It was one sale at a time, but there were things that I immediately started improving on, creating an SOP for how I do my sales and interact with my customers. That was huge because I was able to, just in the last couple of weeks, close 2 or 3 deals within days because we're not a normal furniture store. We're
Hmm.
custom. You pick and order how you want it, what you want it, what do you want it to look like, or something that you can't find in a store. So sometimes that was taking me weeks to get the customer to, hey, what
Wow.
about this? Look at that. And I was able to get them to close within 3 days. So I went from 2 weeks to 3 days just by having a checklist and things and writing everything down and
I
keeping
got
it.
goosebumps.
It was exciting for me. And that's, something I definitely we want to put into the kitchen side because
Yeah.
Oh, selections are, can we just call it what it is? Selections are a nightmare,
Yeah.
yes,
And getting them
right?
on
people are
time.
so
Sure.
indecisive for what they want. They don't know what they want.
Well, they don't know. We
The,
build kitchens all the time.
yeah. And they have the Pinterests and the YouTubes and every HGTV show out there showing them thousands of ideas. So
Just
And
to
they're,
say, send me your Pinterest board, send it to me, and then I'll figure out what your taste is. What you send me,
Well, it's been a lot
it actually
easier.
has worked. I'm telling you
really,
guys, it's it's just so much simpler to see what they're after, and then like, okay, if they send me 4 photos and all 4 photos have inset doors
right.
and drawers, they like inset. I
mhm.
Yeah.
don't ask them, like that's easy. So, some things become more intuitive by just seeing what they're after, especially for design. I know my
Yeah.
designer likes it a lot better when he can see those pictures. So,
Sure.
Yeah. The visuals help. Hey, I want you to imagine that we built a tool that was born out of kicking rocks and frustration. And it's the frustration that we hear in coaching meetings. So, what we built, it's a long title. What we built is something called the Estimator SOP, a simple system to logically filter out bad jobs, focus on profitable work, and use your time wisely. You can see why this is one of our coaching tools, and we can share it with you. It's just a PDF. But I want you to filter out the bad jobs and focus on profitable work. So, what you're going to see is a simple and very logical SOP, standard operating procedure. So, you can delegate estimating, which means you can get back hours every week for yourself as the owner, and you can stop wasting time. But I also, at the same time, want you to win more profitable work so you can keep your pipeline of business full. And again, it's all based on simple systems. Just take a deep breath. I just want simple systems so I can run my business predictably. If you want it, just send me a note and ask for the estimator SOP. And that way I'll know what you're asking for. My cell phone number is 315-903-7853.
Which issues felt most dangerous to ignore, like pricing, inventory, or production?
Pricing. Pricing to me, I feel like pricing is still the thing that I'm not really sure if we're where we should be. You know, these, you said my cost of goods sold is really high and my profits really low. Well, I mean, these cabinets are expensive to make, you know, so I feel like I should be charging more.
Yeah, right.
But, you know, I just don't know how to get to that point. So, you know, that to me is the most immediate thing, because if we're shooting ourselves in the foot every time, then we're not going to improve until we quit doing that.
Mm-hmm. And you have, you know, the price of slides and everything, and wood, everything has gone up. So it's just something that you need to keep up with the cost of goods.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, and I feel like it's the hardest thing, and we've heard this on the podcast and in different books we've read, but it's the hardest thing for us to do as the owners is us to raise our prices. Other
Right.
people, and they're probably okay with it, but it's harder for us. And our first action was to do the easy stuff. Oh, we're finding the deals on plywood. Oh, we were able to cut back on this. Oh, we're, you know, working on how long we have inventory. Those were the easy things to do to save us money. But then when it comes to actually raising the prices, we're like, how much is too much? Is this little bit gonna help, or is it gonna hurt? Should we, you know, or even just giving someone a price, you almost start to hide because you're like, oh, was that okay? That number that I gave you?
Are you offended? Yeah.
Yes, we're not confident in it yet. And that's something that we're trying to work on. And, you know, you guys giving us those numbers and that information
gives us confidence that, to me, it gives us confidence that we can raise our prices.
Yeah, to take action on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you don't want to be too overpriced, but at the same time, it's custom furniture. You know, it has value.
Absolutely.
So,
Yeah. People came to you knowing they drove past IKEA to come to you.
Oh,
so
and
they know.
We're not on a regular road. We're on a country road on a farm in the middle of nowhere. Like most people have our driveway up. Like they don't know we're here. So when they look for us, they know we're not.
Yeah.
They're
looking for us.
Yeah.
They're looking for you. Yeah. And a certain type of person goes to look for that custom furniture. So they expect you to price in that range anyways. And I'll urge anybody out there, if you're a little bit worried about raising your prices, just add $500 to your next deal. And if you win that deal, you're in the right range. You know, what you should actually do is look at your conversion rates, like James said. If you're selling 3 to 4 out of 10 deals, you're priced properly. If you're selling 8 out of 10 deals, you're underpriced. There might be some other things going on there, but you're probably underpriced. If you're selling 1 out of 10 deals, you stink at selling, and maybe you're too expensive, right?
One or both, yes.
But yeah, and I'm sort of being short and funny here for it. Well, that's what I am, but for the show. But really, that 30 to 40% is a magic number, like you said. It's like a thumb test. We just know that's going to work. If you're around 30 to 40%, or 3 or 4 out of 10 deals, you're priced right. Yeah. All right. Well, let me ask you guys: if somebody's listening right now and feels stuck, they just feel stuck, what would you tell them?
In this situation, if they just feel stuck, I mean, if they're not already listening to this podcast, I would recommend that to start, for sure. Because I mean, you can just take your pick of any episode you listen to. You're going to learn something that is going to benefit you in what you're doing. The thing I thought was, like, for me, just I listen to other business podcasts and they're talking about business principles and stuff like. You're talking about the edge bander, you know. You're talking about the panels, you know. We're talking about like things that are real, you know. Like these are real things. These aren't just directives that you know are universal. And I guess to some extent they are, but the specificity of being able to talk about what I do in my shop every day. The go backs, the rework, all that stuff. I didn't have names for those things. I called it working backwards, and you call it rework. That sounds better. So we started using that.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's funny.
But I'm just saying, just my introduction into cabinetry. I was, owned a small wood shop before where I made custom furniture and stuff like that, and then I met the Amish.
Yeah.
And then I went to work for him. So literally it was really brief, and then Amish for a while, and now I'm doing this. And so I'm still learning every single day about both cabinetry and being a business owner of a cabinetry shop.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we're able to help.
Yeah, you have to continue learning, and as a business owner, you can't stop. You have to continue growing.
It's not just about the knowledge that you get from learning about the business. It's that what we're learning through the Checkpoint 90, through the podcast, it's stuff that when you hear it, you're like, I know exactly what that feels like, or I know exactly what that is, or now I understand. Like he said, we didn't have a name for rework until we heard it on the podcast. And it's just learning that, oh, I need to start doing this with my numbers, or start checking this on that. And by gaining that knowledge, and it's something obtainable, because you can read books all day long, but sometimes it just seems like that's so far out there. It's so
theoretical, right? Doesn't apply. They're talking about making candies or something. You're like, I don't know how,
sure,
what's that going to do for me?
So if you had to pick just one thing that this report gave you, was it clarity, confidence, or direction?
If I had to pick one thing, it motivated me.
Yeah.
It motivated you. It motivated you.
Lit a fire under me, for real.
Yeah. Oh, Sally, it lit a fire under him.
It did.
Oh, hold on. Let's go to Sally for a second. What changed?
Our shop is on site, is on our farm.
Right. It's right there.
It's just right over there. He walks to and from work. He gets to have lunch with me and the kids every day.
That's nice.
It's wonderful, but before the meeting and before actually seeing our numbers, you were seeing them so beaten down.
Yeah.
Because it was like, what do I do? How do I fix it?
I can't work any harder. I can't work any harder.
I can't take any more time away from them. So
yeah,
I've got to do something different.
Yeah. And you just see that. And then it was like, after that meeting, it was like our talks together is, especially we'd be driving in the car somewhere, and it was like, yes, it was a company meeting, because it was like, you can't go anywhere. Yeah. I can't, we can't, we're right here and we're talking. And it was like, well, what if we did this? What if we did that? Well, what if we, hire another crew, or what if
then we're brainstorming, we're
focused,
coming up with our own ideas, which
focused brainstorming, right?
Yes,
absolutely.
Very much so, because we knew now with the numbers, we knew what we needed to work on versus going, well, what if we throw this idea out there? What if we drop
our prices and do even more work?
Yeah.
Oh, James, please.
You're bringing the stress back.
No. But that, the reason, and you guys have been wonderful, really great. You're open to coaching. You're looking for the answers and you're willing to put it in place. There are people out there that'll hear it and go, but it won't work for me. My inventory days are fine. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, first, I do not know what I'm talking about. But when we benchmark against the industry, and the industry's 29 days and you're 117, I'm slightly curious. I have questions, right? Sure. Just in your case, that was the number, but it's all benchmarked against what other shops are doing, Well,
I mean, and the thing is we can't afford to be stubborn about it. We can't afford to be, we know what we're doing, and it's like Pete said, you have to constantly grow. You have to constantly learn. And if we're not open to that, I mean, it's like I don't know if you guys read the book, Who Moved My Cheese?
Yes.
Him and Hall, either you're going to waste away, or you got to figure something out. You got to learn, you got to grow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Pete, let me go to Pete for a second, and then we'll start to wind down. Pete, what was your observation as we started this process and we ran the report and delivered the report? What's your business coaching perspective?
I could see both of them heating up through the process. You could see the wheels turning with these two, and how they were starting to have aha moments. That was the cool thing for me. And they're a great couple, and young business owners that are in that beginning stage, but they're buying it they got thrown into full production. It wasn't a ramp up. Oh, let's just start a cabinet shop and ramp up and try and get a couple customers. No, they're just thrown in and everything's
Straight in
running.
a bucket of cold water.
Yeah.
And all the shock that goes with it, right?
Yeah. But
hey, thanks, Pete, for that. And I got to ask you guys, how did you two meet? You just spawned in front of us, but what's the origin story of Sally and James?
So
a church friend.
yes.
Oh yeah, that old thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she invited me to be a guest singer at her church.
Wow.
That young, in my 20s, that's what I did, is I would travel around and sing at different churches and things like that. So
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I actually worked with her because before this, I was a massage therapist and we worked together. And she said, "You need to come to my church and sing."
She has a theater degree.
Yeah, and a theater degree. Nothing involving anything we're doing now.
For this. Yeah.
But she asked me to sing at her church, and she had some ulterior motives. She said, "You need to meet the youth minister. He's wonderful. I know you have a boyfriend, but you're gonna sing and play music together and get married and have babies." And like James says, I wish she would have put it, "You're going to be millionaires" in there too, because now with how she says speaking.
Leave that to Dom and Pete.
Yeah. Exactly.
We got you covered there. Well, that we can make happen for sure. Yeah, James, you haven't said anything. What did you do in the choir?
I led the choir.
Oh well, yeah, you were the youth minister.
Yeah, I was the youth pastor,
okay.
and then I led the choir on Sundays. So I was in band my whole life, played trombone, and then I was in drum line.
You know, I'm looking at you on screen, and I would have thought D line or O line. I was in band. I'm looking at your shoulders. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I carried drums. That's why.
Yeah.
But I could conduct, so they had me lead the choir. That was my only quality. I didn't know how to lead, but so that's kind of how we met, and we knew about each other for a while. Her nieces and nephew, I coached them in soccer when they were really little, like 4 and 5.
You guys are really from the same community, anyways.
Yes, in the same county, and we run into each other. Never met each other through high school. Went to the same high school, but it wasn't until after that we would just bump into each other, and it wasn't until our friend casually threw us together that we just hit it off after that.
Nice. That's great. Now, are your kids going to the same high school you guys went to?
Nope.
No.
We homeschooled.
Our kids homeschooled.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. That's great too. Well, because you know what that means is every dollar you make in this company allows you to stay home and homeschool. Like, because you still got the shop out front, but yeah, we hear that a lot. People saying, if I could make another 50, 60 grand out of this business, then we could homeschool the kids.
Well,
you can make 200 grand more.
What we do. So they're the reason we do what we do. They're the reason that she left massage and I left sales. I had 2 other businesses before this. I owned a lawn care company and I owned a wood shop, and all of that was to be here. Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't realize that. Pete owned. What was your?
Yeah, I had landscape was one of them. Yeah.
Definitely doppelgangers.
Yeah. Crazy. Well, guys, thank you so much for being. Oh, Pete's winning on that. If that's what we're trying to do.
Is that a win? Okay, we'll take that as we'll say it's a win. Yeah.
Solar panel.
I just gave up early. That's all it was.
James and Sally, thank you so much, guys, for first of all, just for yourselves. You took the information and you ran with it. That's a big thing. And you were talking about your kids. We all know our kids are watching us. If your kids see that mom and dad make smart moves, wise moves, and they get results from it, guess what's going to happen? Your kids are going to do the same thing too, but
that's all you can hope for.
Yeah. So I'm glad we're all part of this. And I just want to say thanks again for working with us. I can't tell you how proud we are to have you.
We're super excited.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Well. We had a couple of people on that episode. We had James and Sally from Schrock's Kitchens, and we also had Coach Pete Ficco on there as well, assisting with the interview. Pete actually ran the report ran the financial report and the financial assessment and delivered it to James and Sally. And so I thought it perfect for him to be here. And you could hear from some of his very pointy questions, nicely delivered, that he was on the inside scoop on some of the actions that Schrock wants to take. I hope you got a lot of value from that. I wanted you to see what it looks like to be a coaching client. I mean, is it okay if I'm just blunt? I would like to be your business coach. Me, Pete, the rest of the team, we're here to do that. If you have any interest or curiosity at all, you just heard from James and Sally on what it's like to be a coaching client, what value you get. Is it actionable? Can they get value from it? Is it worth doing? Is it worth your time? I don't know what your questions are. If you have questions, text us and say, hey, I want to talk about coaching. The cell phone number is 315-903-7853. But you should have picked up a lot of takeaways from this, a ton. Inventory days, gross profit margins, the fact that none of us got into this business to be a banker or an accountant, and yet here we are running a wood shop, and we have to look at our numbers. That being the case, what numbers do we need to look at? So I hope you got that as a takeaway, and just the nicest people, which, by the way, we just had James and Sally here. They are a fantastic couple. Everybody else is too. I know that. I know because that's the kind of people who listen to the show, and typically the kind of people that go into our industry. So it's always a really nice meeting of some very nice people who have a very, very focused path on where they want to go. So join us if you want to do that, and just text me and we'll talk about it. I want to give you an update now on the Christmas water campaign. You guys know Christmas is important to me. I love it. Everybody's got their thing. I love Christmas. And I decided this year to do something that would help other people instead of just helping ourselves. And so we put together this campaign to donate clean, safe water to a community that lives next to an open pit dump in Nicaragua. And so the way you take part, this whole audience working together takes part, is just by liking or commenting on any of the videos on YouTube or the podcast audios that you hear. And so when we started this, which was just last November, we had 60 people a month kind of left a comment or left a like or a comment. As of this month, April, we are now at April 16th at the time of this recording, 1519. So 1,519, which means that on your behalf, I will be donating 15,190 liters of drinking water to that community. So how cool is that? We're having a massive impact on people we'll probably never meet. I know that I will be meeting them in the next couple of years because I'm already talking now about going down and doing a building project there. And maybe I'll open it up if some of you want to come down and help with that construction. But we're going to be donating quite a bit of water. All you have to do, and I know lots of people do this as well, they do it with their kids or their grandkids. They're like, hey, do you want to help some people on the other side of the world? You just hit like, go to a YouTube video and watch something that we've done, or leave a comment and just sit there and do some good in the world. And what a great way to go. And also, hopefully you get value from the episode like James and Sally just did. Anyways, listen, you guys know I'm extremely proud to be able to do this with you and for you. And so thank you for listening. You got to know me by now, genuine to the bottom of my heart. One day you and I will have an old fashioned, glass of wine, cup of coffee, whatever it is. That's actually why I'm doing all this, for that day there. Until then, my friends, we'll see you on the next episode.